Okay, we mentioned last night that we're beginning a new chapter here in the Orchos Yosher, and it's a chapter of ZERIZUS, of ALACRITY, because as we pointed out, the days of Elul are short and few. There's only a month. We're already 1 week into Elul. That means we only have 3 weeks left to prepare us for Rosh Hashanah. And one of the main midas, traits that a person has to have in order to capitalize on the precious moments that we have in front of us is the midah of ZERIZUS, is how to be alacritous and zealous and diligent when it comes to doing the mitzvahs. So he writes like this, V'omru mitzvah haba liyadcha, when a mitzvah comes to your hand, al tachmitzena, do not delay. You got to grab onto it right away. V'omru, like it says, la'olam yaktim adam l'var mitzvah, a person should always be the first one to a mitzvah. How do we know this? Shebishil laila echad shekadmasa b'chir letzira. We know the famous story. It's an insidious story, and yet this is the proof. Lot and his daughters end up in a cave. Stayim and Amar is going down in history as being destroyed. And the two daughters believe that they're the only two women that are left in the world, and this is the only man that's left in the world. So they come up with a scheme. They're going to get their father drunk, and they're going to end up having relations with their father, and from there they'll have a child, and that child will end up being propagating, that's the word, propagating the world. So the two girls, one was older, one was younger, they were speaking amongst each other, and who's going to go first? So the Gemara tells us that the Bechir, the older daughter, she said, I'll go first. So she came before Letzir, the young one. She was Zeicha, she merited that 4 generations. Kingdom, Dovid HaMelech comes from there, Mashiach comes from there. All because, why? Because even though it's not an easy mitzvah to do, and maybe that's why it's a proof. This was not something that they were excited to do. They felt that they were being l'shem shemaim, they're doing for the sake of heaven over here. The world's going to dissipate and destroy, so we're the only people that are left in the world. I don't want to be with my father, it's a disgusting thing. But that's the mitzvah, that came to their hands. And so the Bechir, the older one, said, I'm going to do it, and I'm going first. As a result of going first, in a situation where it's very difficult, she merits to have generations of malachim, of kings, amongst them Dovid HaMelech, and Dovid will end up coming Mashiach Zidkenu. So if that's the schar that a person will get, therefore say Chazal, a person has to be very particular to make sure that they grab onto the mitzvahs. And we don't have, Baruch Hashem, we don't have to do such disgusting things to be able to be Makayim the mitzvahs. We have beautiful mitzvahs that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given us every day from the moment we wake up in the morning till we go to sleep at night. And each one, we are being encouraged to grab onto them as best as we can. Ubebrachas, in the Gemara it says, La'olam yorutz adam l'dvar mitzvah. A person should always run to a dvar mitzvah. You run to things that you're excited about. You slump your shoulders over and you drag your feet to things that you're not excited about. No kid runs to the doctor. They're in the car waiting till the last second. They're fighting their parents on the way. When the doctor comes in, the nurse comes in. I once had one of my sons had to get his shots. So he did not want his shots. And the nurse came in and said, I'm going to give you the shot. No, you're not going to. She said, oh, yes, I am going to give you your shot. He said, no, I don't want my shots. So the kid was running around in the room till he ran underneath the doctor's table to try to evade the nurse. The nurse said, if you don't come out of there, I'm crawling under there with you and to give you your shots. Get out of there right now. No kid runs excitedly to the doctor. No kid runs. Today was the first day of school for many people. No kid, maybe your son, but most kids don't jump out of bed the first day of school. Yes, I'm so excited. Summer's over. No more vacation. No more pool. No more trips. It's time to go to school. No kids do that. They go, you have to drag them out of bed in the morning. You have to bribe them with thousands of dollars to get them to school in the morning, with taking for prizes afterwards. And then they come to the car. How's school? It's okay. No kid is excited. But if you take that kid and you're going to bring him to, I don't know, Lahavdil, Dodger Stadium, Lahavdil, you're going to take him on a vacation someplace that is his dream vacation, in the best place, with the best weather, with the best Xbox possible that he can play all summer long, that kid is going to jump out of bed, he's going to run first thing in the morning. Say Chazal over here, La'olam, that a person, Yorutz Adam L'dvar Mitzvah, you have to run to a mitzvah. Because you have to show how excited you are to do the mitzvahs. V'afil b'Shabbos, even though on Shabbos, we're supposed to walk slowly, supposed to be with the spirit of Shabbos, but when it comes to a mitzvah, said Chazal, a person has to run, because whenever it comes to a mitzvah, you have to show HaKadosh Baruch Hu how meaningful it is to us. V'sham, and it says over there in the Gemara, L'meyal mitzvah l'mirhat, says the Gemara like this, that when a person's leaving the Beis HaKnesses, so when you're done tonight, you don't run to the coffee room to see what kind of cake there is. You walk out slow. Wow, it's so hard to leave the Beis HaKnesses. I just davened, I just spoke to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm not worried about the coffee machine. I'm not worried about what's going on at home. I leave slow. It's painful to leave the shul. But when it comes to coming in the morning, person drives up, they park the car, they jump out of the car, they run in. A person should make sure that when they're coming to shul, they run. There was a great tzaddik, his name was Rav Shlomo Brevda, Zecher Tzaddik Livracha, and he was a very short man. He was very weak. Much of his life, he was very sick with all different ailments, but he always found the strength that he needed to do what he had to do. And this older, shorter, ill, weaker person, but whenever he would get close to the shul, to fulfill the dictum of Chazal, he would always pick up his step a little bit and run a little bit to get there. You have to show HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm excited. That's what I'm excited to be. And that's what Chazal are telling us over here. That the derech of a person who wants to be connected to the mitzvahs is that he does these actions that are considered to be ZERIZUS, ALACRITY, because that itself will inspire the person, that'll arouse them, that'll wake them up, that'll get them excited about the mitzvahs, and it'll show HaKadosh Baruch Hu also that those are the things that we're excited about. If you could run to the restaurant, if you could run to the movie, if you could run to the ball game, if you could run to the chasana, you could run to the first dance, you got to run to the mitzvahs also. And Be'ez Hashem, if a person keeps running and chasing after the mitzvahs, you'll rack up a lot of mitzvahs this Elul in Be'ez Hashem, which will all be put on the scales for our benefit, that we should be zeichet to a ksiva v'chasima teiva, to be signed and sealed in the book of life.